The EF-S 18-200mm f3.5 5.6 IS is a super flexible stand telephoto zoom lens made for Canon for the smaller APS-C format. An astonishing 11 times zoom range made to capture everything from wide-angle shots to faraway subjects. It lives on the entry-level EF-S lineup, made for the amateur photographer looking for a single lens to have it on their kit. At 78 by 102 mm of 600 grams of mostly plastics, the first thing we notice on the EF-S 18-200mm IS lens is the size, weight, and poorly constructed build. A genuine entry-level super zoom made for the entry-level price point. There is simply no secret to this market. It's a sub $600 11 times zoom lens, and it comes with a lot of compromises. One of them is the usability. The zoom ring extends a two-stage internal barrel from 18 to 200 mm in a not so smooth movement that also lacks precision, showcasing the overall wobbliness of the barrel. At the front, the manual focusing ring is also cheap, not supporting the full-time manual operation, and you must switch the AF switch to manually adjust focus, that also lacks precision when disengaging the internal mechanism. That happens due to an internal micro drive motor that is one of the last on Canon's lineup. This drive uses internal gears to move the front element back and forth, a step behind both STM and USM lenses, also feeling fragile, imprecise, and relatively slow. It really is as cheap as it can get. And it doesn't sport a decent window. It actually moves automatically with the internal motor, taking away some of the grip from under the manual focusing ring. It's just a mess. On a positive note, Canon did add its best IS module, capable of compensating up to 4 stops on the shutter speed, great to shoot low light, or to easily use the telephoto distances. This is one of its best attributes. A true 100mm focal length is stabilized for about $600. No other Canon lens offered this spec at this price point. Finally, at the front, the 72mm filter thread is large and compatible only with large lenses. At least it doesn't rotate while focusing nor zooming, great to be used with polarizers. At the rear, the metal mount fits Canon's EF-S plastic bump to prevent it from being used on full-frame cameras. And nothing is declared about weather resistance. You really don't want to be taking this lens to the extremes. Overall, this is a very interesting lens on the Canon EF-S lineup. Super zoom, yes, but barely put together. We get better products from third parties like Sigma's 18-300mm contemporary, or even Tamron's Super 18-400mm zoom. So can this Canon at least justify its image quality? Let's find out. With a complex 16 elements in 12 groups optical formula, sporting high-performance glass like UD pieces to fix for chromatic aberration, and 2 high-precision aspherical glasses to gather better corner resolution, what the EF-S 18-200mm non-surprisingly delivers optically is fair. Plenty of aberrations and an overall lack of resolution, but nonetheless images, from 18 to 200mm. Make no mistake, there is a lot of chromatic aberration here, with the overall image look feeling somewhat cheap. We can't deny its limitations, and you know what you're getting into, an extreme zoom lens. But we also just can't deny its flexibility. Absolutely everything you want to shoot, it can be done with the EF-S 18-200mm. While wide open, it certainly won't deliver stellar performance on today's demanding 24 or 30 megapixels APS-C sensors. It can be useful to shoot low-light shots of interior design, travel photography, shallow depth of field portraits, and most mundane subjects that do realize perfect details around the center frame, even good for some prints. Considering most images today will end up on tiny smartphone screens, made for the Instagram generation, it's hard to argue with the EF-S 18-200mm image quality. It will generate images. Stopping down doesn't really impact performance, as this isn't a large aperture zoom. You should actually prevent from using it at f11 or smaller, due to the diffraction limits on most cameras. And yes, the lateral chromatic aberrations are chaotic, expected from the extreme zoom design, and the geometry is poor from the wide-angle bulge to the telephoto pincushion, both easy to fix in post with reasonable image quality impacts. But finally is the overall image quality look that feels very cheap. rendering from autofocus highlights to colors, to high contrast shadows, to the flaring, to the all other aberrations, very poorly. So images are clearly lacking sharpness and impact. So who should buy the EF-S 18-200mm IS Super Zoom? Simple, those absolutely limited by luggage space to carry just one lens to always be with you. I can't see the benefits. Using a single lens too easily and quickly, taking snapshots of absolutely every subject possible is a big selling point at any kit, especially those coming from bot-only cameras. But do keep in mind the image quality impact on high-precision shots that this lens simply won't deliver. So while it can shoot photos, it's hard to wholeheartedly recommend it to everyone. If possible, simply take more lenses with you and take better care of your images. If not, good luck with the EF-S 18-200mm and nice shooting!